All right, everybody, so go ahead and take out your notebooks and update your table of contents. Today is the 28th, and we're talking X and Y intercepts. So first thing what I want us to do is review what we talked about last week. When we talked last week, we were graphing equations. And we talked about how we needed our equation in y equals mx plus b. And if that's not the case, we need to go ahead and solve for y. So my equation is 4x plus 2y equals negative 20. I need to get this in y equals mx plus b. So the way I'm going to do that is I need to move this 4x over to the other side first. So I do that by subtracting 4x. When I do that, I get 2y equals negative 20 minus 4x. So those cancel. Now I need to go ahead and divide everything by 2. And I'm going to get y equals negative 10 minus 2x. This then tells me already I have a slope of negative 2. I have a y-intercept at 0, negative 10. My domain and range is as it always is, except for when I have the horizontal and vertical lines. That's the only time this changes, but now, since it's not that, it's going to just be all real numbers. So let's go ahead and plot my point 0, negative 10. My slope is negative 2. Well, here's the thing. If I go down 2 to the right 1, like I'm supposed to here, I'm not going to get any closer to my x-axis. So I'm going to go in the complete opposite direction to get the rest of this line. And go up 2, 1, 2, left 1, up 2, left 1, and keep going until I get to my x-axis. Connect your dots. And my x-intercept ends up being negative 5, 0. So that is a review of what we did last week, okay? Review from last week. Now let's go into what we're talking about this week. Make sure you get this in your notes, by the way. Pause if you need to. All right, so today we're going to talk about solving for x and y intercepts. What if I don't have a graph? What if I don't want to graph this and I just want to find out what the x and y intercepts are? The way that you do this is, first off, you need to make sure you know where the 0 is in both of your intercepts. For my x-intercept, my 0 is in the y part of my coordinates. For my y-intercept, it's in the x. The reason why this is important is because what you need to do is plug in 0 wherever it is in the coordinates, okay? So, go ahead, make sure you get what's in the yellow box written down. On this example here, I have negative 5x plus 6y equals 30. If I'm solving for my x-intercept says that my y is going to be 0. So in my equation, all I'm going to do is change y to 0 and then solve for x. That means that negative 5x equals 30. I would divide by negative 5, and I get an x equals negative 6. But as we learned before, we must write this as a coordinate, so negative 6, 0 is my answer. Now let's learn about the y-intercept. The y-intercept is just like that as well, except for now I need to plug in my 0 for my x. So negative 5, 0 plus 6y equals 30. Notice when I plug my 0 in, the only letter that's left is the letter that the letter of the intercept that I'm solving for. Divide 6 by both sides, and you get y equals 5. So my y-intercept is 0, 5. That's all you need to do, everybody, to get your x and y-intercept when you're given an equation. Now, you want to go ahead and write this down that an x-intercept is also known as a 0, okay? Definitely write this right when I'm underlining down. Now, the reason for this is because the value of the y is 0 at the x-intercept. That's why we call it a 0. Now, here's the thing. Whenever I say 0 and x-intercept, they mean exactly the same thing. There is no difference. All you need to know is that x-intercept now has a second name. Now, the question that we have here is how many zeros does a linear function have? Well, it's the same number of x-intercepts that it has, which is 1, okay? Linear function is going to have one In some cases, we've seen it's going to have none, but pretty much majority of the time it's going to be 1. All right, why don't you pause the video, see if you can solve these for your x-intercept and your 0. All right, so let's go ahead and let's do this together. Find the x-intercept. If I'm finding my x-intercept, I'm not going to have a y anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and just cross this out, because I know when I plug 0 in, it's just going to go away. 4x equals 7. Divide each side by 4. X equals 7/4. So my x-intercept is 7, 4, 0. All right, let's try the next one. It says find the 0, which just means x-intercept. So I don't need my y, I only need 4x equals 18. Divide both sides by 4, and you get x equals 9/2. That's the simplified fraction of 18/4. Now, I boxed that, but I shouldn't have, because I need to write this as a coordinate, 9/2, 0. That is my true answer. All right, I'm going to work this in part 2 of this video.